Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Mike Hill Show with West Coast Preps. This podcast is always going down every Sunday after the action in high school sports here in the Bay Area. So shout out to West Coast Preps for giving me this platform. And I told you shows before, send me some gear. If you send me some gear, I will rock your gear. I'll give you a shout out on the show. If we count up the numbers, I got about 5,000 followers. West Coast Preps about 17,000 followers. And we mash that up, you over 20,000 followers that can see your gear. So shout out to Dome Hats. Dome Headwear Inc. out of Florida sent this over with Coach Mack out of Florida. He's also a high school coach out in Florida. So this is Dome's Hats, and this is just a football reference. It says on the top, it says, low man wins. And as we know in this game of football, the lowest man wins, man. Get low, get leverage in there, and move your feet. So I had to rock this hat, and it kind of fit the fit. It's blue and white hat. I'm rocking Menlo gear as usual. So shout out to Dome Hats for sending this over. I appreciate you, Coach Mack, man. I'll definitely make sure I give y'all a shout out on the Twitter platform. And let's just jump right into it. I'm recording this during the halftime of the 49ers game. And if y'all know me, I'm a diehard 49er fan, season ticket holder. I'm locked in, so I got to get back to this game. Right now, the score is 7-3. The Niners are up in Denver. You already know we don't feel Russell Wilson from his Seattle days. So this is a big-time game for us, and I want the Niners to, just to keep doing well. So let's hop into it. Let's hop into this West Coast Preps top 25. The rankings are up, and it looks like some teams did fairly well. There were 6 losses out of the top 25 teams. And what it seems like week in and week out is the top 25 is beating the top 25. So there were 6 losses out of the top 25. And a lot of those teams are already on the list. So the movement may go up and down, but the teams may not change. I think lower in the 20 to 25 range, there may be some movement because there's some teams that lost and there's some teams that won and that deserve to get in that top 25. But I'll leave that all up to Chris, Greg, and all the other staffers at West Coast Preps to figure out who is what and what is what. So, I always go through the top 3 of the West Coast Preps top 25. We had Sarah, the number 1 seed, the number 1 team in NorCal. They continue to show why they're the number 1 seed in NorCal, right? Top team in the state. They won 29-7 versus St. Francis. St. Francis is a powerhouse here in the Bay Area. So in that West Catholic League, they started slow, it seems like, but then they caught their feet and they ended up cruising to a victory 29-7. The number 2 seed was De La Salle. De La Salle hosted Folsom. Folsom came down to the Bay and then, kind of messed up the party. Looks like De La Salle may have won the game, but if I'm not mistaken, Folsom scored late. And that was a 24-20 victory. So De La Salle lost, but they lost to a great team too. So let's just keep that into account. And they'll still be one of the top teams in the Bay Area, and we'll beat a lot of the teams on this top 25. You better believe it. Looks like Pittsburgh had a bye week last week, and they'll be coming off their bye week after a few days rest to face McClymonds. So Pittsburgh. We'll face McClymonds, the top 3, Sarah, De La Salle, and Pittsburgh. I guess De La Salle has to drop a little bit, but it shouldn't go too far because it ain't like Folsom some bum off the street. So we'll see how that goes this week. Look on West Coast Preps on the Twitter feed, on their website to see where the action is. And then now let's just get into the big games. There were a lot of big games this week. I'll start off with Brennan Christian. Looks like they were the game of the week for West Coast Preps top 25, and they took care of business in good fashion. It was 47-7 over Hercules. And let's just keep in mind, Hercules is a good program. I think they made a playoff run last year, had some ballers, had the brothers over there. So shout out to Brennan Christian. That's a big time win in the West Coast Preps game of the week. And then we'll get to Bellarmine. I don't know if people wrote them off, but I didn't write them off. Like, I knew that they will come back and they will play good football. They played big teams in their first 2 games. So, I mean, yeah, it's a 50-50 crapshoot, you know what I mean? So they lost some, but they're back and they just they handle business straight up. They played at San Jose City College. I saw a video of their student section. It was packed, right? People were ready to go. So shout out to Bellarmine. Bellarmine crushed SI in controlling fashion. And then Branham stays in the mix, man. Looks like my guy, Coach Stevens and the boys, Coach Johnson, they done turned in the undefeated team again, 5-0, going into week 6. Shout out to them. Looks like they're going to make the playoffs. It'd be hard to believe that they don't make the playoffs at this point, but they're handling business. And then this is another game. It was a big game for two programs. So I had Mitty Gritty, the Mitty Gritty versus Sacred Heart Cathedral. And the question is Mitty back, man? They had a tough season last year, and it looks like they're catching a stride, and they haven't lost yet, right? And they're continuing to rise in these rankings. The Mitty Gritty, shout out to Justice, my man Justice is the running back over there, and they played Sacred Heart Cathedral at Kezar, which is a tough place to play, and they came out on top. So shout out to Mitty. I was able to watch that game on a live stream. And shout out to my boys, man. RL, he had a pick 6. He also had a receiving touchdown, doing all he can do. And Jerry Mixon had a bunch of tackles, and he had a 99-yard kick return touchdown. Let's just think about that while we're here. It's not a lot of running backs that can go back and play kickoff returner and take it back 99 yards, break tackles, show some speed, and score. So shout out to RL, shout out to Mix. I love those boys. And then shout out to Mitty Gritty. We got to start respecting Mitty in the WCL. Let's move forward here. And I guess, I don't know who was upset. I'm not sure who was the favorite in this game, but Oakland Tech beat Tennyson. As you know, we had Tennyson on the show a few weeks ago, and I told you, like, looking at their schedule, they're gonna have some tough games, and this was one of the tough games that we identified. It was Oakland Tech. Oakland Tech has some ballers out there in the town, man. Shout out to the town. In the 510, they got a DN last name Staples. Has a bunch of offers. He's a prospect. I talked to a lot of coaches that were coming in town during the offseason, and they asked me, like, have you heard this kid Staples, the DN out of Oakland Tech? And I haven't seen him play, but I told him that he got some hype on him. You need to go check him out. So a lot of coaches been over there to Oakland Tech, and he's pulling in a lot of offers. So he got a few offers. And then their running back, Alonzo, last name Alonzo, is also a Division I running back. He has the offers from Grambling State. So it looks like those guys took care of business. Now, my question is, usually MAC floats all the way through the Silver Bowl, right? The Silver Bowl is the big time championship game for the OAL in the town. And it looks like it may be MAC and Oakland Tech. Now, does Tech have enough power to stop MAC? I don't know, but we're going to find out. And if it fits my schedule, man, I would try to get over there. That sounds like a game to be at. MAC versus Oakland Tech. I'm going to have to check the schedule and see what it's looking like. But shout out to Oakland Tech for a big-time win. And then we got Rodriguez. Shout out to Leroy Bryant doing the do. It looks like the man had a pick 6. He sent me a clip. He said, don't throw my way. Like, period, point blank. You feel me? So he took that thing back about 70 yards, pick 6. Leroy does not mess around. That Washington commit, and it looks like they won 50-21 over Benicia. And Benicia's a good program, and they have had Division I talent in the past. I'm not sure what they got now, but shout out to Rodriguez. Continue to be great. And this one, I'm looking at my notes, man. I kind of do a little research before the game. I don't just come in this thing freestyling. I'm not a rapper, so Sacred Heart Prep, the arch nemesis from across the way, right? Actually, across the street. Like, you can probably throw a football and hit their campus from Menlo campus if you guys don't know. So Sacred Heart Prep played Los Gatos at 4:00 on Friday. Menlo was having practice, and as I'm driving into the school, I see the fans piling into Sacred Heart Prep. And it was a good crowd. They always have a good crowd. And a lot of people thought that Los Gatos was going to go ahead and control that game and beat Sacred Heart Prep, but Sacred Heart Prep had a different mindset. You hear me? Like, they weren't going for that. They just came off a big time win against Reardon. right? Their confidence is up. Like, let's not get it twisted. And they upset Los Gatos 10-7. So shout out to Sacred Heart Prep. I know that's like I don't know, that's like a Batman Joker, you know. So for Menlo, but man, I show respect to all programs, to all kids. It's about the kids. It's nothing more. So if you balling, I don't care who you play for. I'm gonna show you some love. So shout out to Sacred Heart Prep, man. Some kids I know over there, RL Stevens, man, I got to connect with him during the summer at the Sac State camp. He's great friends with a few kids that play for Menlo. Raphael Ralston is his good friend. They both play D line, and then Carter Shaw, man, Carter Shaw continues to prove why he's a great athlete and Division I athlete. He will play Division I football in a short time, in one more year, and then Shayo Kelly, right? Shayo Kelly. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some love right now. Shayo Kelly, what a baller, and I'll give you some love a little bit later. But shout out to Sacred Heart Prep, 10-7 versus Los Gatos. We will play them in the Valpo Bowl later in the season, so that's gonna be a slugfest. But I look forward to the challenge, man. I don't run from nothing, and we fear nothing. So shout out to Sacred Heart Prep, and shout out to the Menlo Blue. And during that transition, let's just talk about the Menlo Blue. You know, I'm rocking the Menlo sweater. I'm always rocking Menlo gear. Shout out to our athletic department, our coaches, keeping us fresh. We play Palo Alto. So, you know, Palo Alto is not too far away from us at Menlo. Kids know each other. They may have been to elementary school together, you know, who knows? So there's a little cross-town rival between Menlo and Palo Alto. And they traveled down to Menlo this Saturday. It was blazing hot, man. It was like 88, 90 degrees out there. So shout out to the guys for getting out that game healthy. And the score was 18-0. 18-0 Menlo. So we improved to 3-1 on the season. And we will look forward to facing Amador Valley in a short minute, see if we can continue our streak. But I just want to give a shout out to Avery Romaine. He's our senior D tackle. He played a monster game, man. It looked like he had 6 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 hurries, and 2 tackles for a loss. That's big time stats. He's a big specimen, man, about 6'3", 235, 240, playing that D line. And he showed why he has the potential to play next level. You know, he has multiple Division III offers, and he will have some chances. You know, things depending on how things go, he'll have some chances to play at the FCS Division I level. So shout out to Avery, and then shout out to Ty Richardson. He's our all-purpose player, man. He played on the offensive side of the ball. He plays running back. He plays wide receiver, and he has to know a lot of stuff, man. So this offense is complex, and it changes every week. And I'll talk about opposing defenses in just a second. So he's able to think on the fly and able to produce. He's going out there playing 140 snaps a game. You know, no subs, man. Like if I need him, I can count on him if he's tired or not. So shout out to him. He had an amazing game in all 3 phases of the game. It looks like, let me just check his stats 1 second. And it looks like he had 8 tackles. 8 tackles on defense. He had an interception, return for about 40 yards. He also had a touchdown run that was negated by a penalty. You know, could be questionable, could be the right call. We're not going to get into officiating. Go ahead and get myself in trouble on a Sunday night. But he had about a 65-yard running back run. And looking at his punt returns, he had 2 punt returns for about 65 yards, 2 kickoff returns for about 61 yards. So he's averaging over 30 yards a return in all 3 phases of the game. So shout out to that guy. And look like he had 3 pass breakups. So just an absolute baller. Shout out to Ty Richardson, man. It's no question why these Division I colleges are inquiring about him. And he'll have some opportunities along to play next level. And just looking at the notes, so shout out to our defense, man. I think our defense, they balled out. They produced a shutout. You know, Pally didn't score. You know, Pally has a pretty good offense there, so we were able to get them down before they can get rolling. So shout out to the defense. They work really hard and they get in there. And they are the bread and butter of our defense. I mean, of our team right now. As you know, we transitioning from I was not here last year at Menlo, so transitioning into a new offense, new verbiage. Things are changing. We finding our identity, but the defense remains the staple within our team. So shout out to the D. 18-0 got their first shutout of the year. And that's big. So we 3-1, man. 3-1. It's much better than being 0-3 or 1-3 or 0-4. So I'm happy to be here where we at, and we continue to roll. And now we got Amador Valley. Those some big time players down in Amador Valley. They got a great team over there. I'm in Pleasanton. So we travel to Amador Valley on Friday. We'll play them 7 p.m. At their house. This is a rescheduled game from during the heat wave when we couldn't play them. So shout out to Amador Valley for giving us this reschedule. And it should be a big time football game. I've never played or coached at Amador Valley, but I have seen the video, and it looks like they have a good crowd and a good atmosphere. So it's going to be some big time players. I know they got, I may pronounce his name wrong, but Nazer. He's committed, the DN committed to Colorado. He's a big time player. And then Miles Tucker, he's just a great linebacker, athlete, can kind of do it all. And then the other DN, and I didn't write down his name, but the other DN that's committed, that also has multiple offers. I think he may be going to Idaho, but don't quote me on that one. But Amador has some heat, so it'll be a big time showcase. Menlo, we got some big time players too, so we're not gonna tuck our tail. We're ready for any challenge, man. Fear no man. We're going into Amador, and we hope to have a good day down there in Pleasanton. So let me just looking at my last check of my notes. Looks like Amador and Foothill had a big time battle, and Amador pulled it off in overtime 14-7. So Friday night, 7 p.m. at Amador. You might want to check that out. You want to see the peninsula, the San Francisco Peninsula, San Jose-ish. We right smack dab in the middle. Travel over to the East Bay so you can see what's up. So as we transition to the players of the week. I got the man from Bellarmine. Shout out to Parker Threat. I met Parker maybe 2 years ago when he's like still like a freshman or whatnot. He came down with Coach A-Ray. Coach A-Ray is really close with Parker Threat, and he always had confidence in Parker, man. He always had confidence, like, coach, he gonna be a player. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, he a youngster right now. He just got to get in where he fit in. And then now look at him emerge though. He's on varsity and he's making plays. He just goes out and makes plays. I think he came in the McClymonds game and just kind of, showed that he's worthy to be a varsity quarterback and a starting quarterback. So my quarterback player of the week is going to be Parker Threat out of Bellarmine. His stats were 22 for 30, 219 yards, and 1 touchdown. Controlling the offense. And that running back over there, Ben, I can't pronounce his last name, but Ben P, he's over there having a dandy season himself. I mean, man, I follow Bellarmine football. Coach, I'm close with a few of the coaches over there, so we go back and forth. So Ben is showing that he is a premier running back in the WCAL, the CCS, and in NorCal. So shout out to Bellarmine and Parker Threat, one of the players of the week. And then we got running back out of Maru Catholic. They're doing a great job promoting their players, man. They definitely are. So we got Dean Taylor Chapman. I seen his highlights. The staff sent me his highlights, and he was going to work. He had 203 yards, 2 touchdowns on 20 carries. And I ain't a mathematician, man. I'm not gonna shortchange myself, but I went to South City High School. You know what I mean, and I was able to go to college. But I'm not a mathematician. But it looks like he had 10 yards a carry. That means he was toting that pill, man. You feel me? So he was getting after it. So shout out to Dean Taylor out of Monroe Catholic as they won their game versus Skyline, and it looked like it was a good fight, man. And, one thing that I did see on the Twitter after that game is the coach that lost still show love to the team that he beat. Like, congratulations on the win. Like, it's all love. Like, it's all respect. And that's what it's about, man. Too many people get caught up in these, like, emotions, and I can't like the opposing coach. I ain't going to talk to him, blah, blah, blah. Like, man, we here to coach football. We here to be leaders and mentors. And sometimes we mess up, even myself, as being a role model, but we strive for greatness though. And we strive for sportsmanship, and we strive to be like competitors on the field and friends off. So shout out to all the coaches that I'm cool with, man. I got love for all y'all. And then shout out to Skyline Football. Hey, defensive player of the week is Sacred Art Prep, Shayo Kelly. And now, don't get me wrong, I didn't know about Shayo Kelly until I seen the top linebacker prospects by West Coast Preps. And Shayo Kelly was in the mix. It was Shayo Kelly, it was R.L. Miller, and it was Jerry Mixon. So I'm like, okay, let me see what the Shayo Kelly kid is. He got to be a baller if he's that high, but he's showing why he is who he is. You hear me? So he had 11 tackles and a fumble recovery at a big time and a big point in the game. So 11 tackles and a fumble recovery as they upset Los Gatos. So I expect Sacred Art Prep to rise up on those West Coast Preps top 25. So shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to the guys across the pond. I'm going to be cool with y'all except that night when we play. When we travel, yeah, that's just how I go, man. And we'll shake hands after. But much respect to y'all over there across the street, man. So looking back, at the game of the week. The game of the week last week, I think I picked Pittsburgh versus Fold. I picked St. Francis and Sarah. And Sarah cruised on a victory in that one. And the game of the week this week is it's hard, man. So hey, I believe in rivals, inner city rivals. And I was just skimming through the schedules. Antioch versus Deer Valley. That's both teams right there in Antioch, right? Like, can't run from that. I know the coaches know each other. I know the players know each other. I know the mamas know each other. Like, hey, it's going to be lit down there, Antioch versus Deer Valley. So that's one of my games of the week, man. I ended up picking 3 because I couldn't really choose. So Antioch versus Deer Valley in the Antioch battle. And then the San Francisco school. So as you know, Balboa won the state championship last year, and I read some things on their coach. They played a gruesome preseason schedule. Gruesome. Like they played teams, they didn't run from no smoke. They went out there and they played. But the philosophy behind it is we're gonna play harder teams that we'll ever face in our league. And when we get to our league, we'll be a better team. Right. So they will face Lincoln. And Lincoln's a powerhouse in San Francisco as well. So they'll face Lincoln. And both of these teams may very well end up playing each other in Turkey Day. Turkey Day is the San Francisco public high school championship, which is played on Thanksgiving. So we got Bal versus Lincoln. That's my San Francisco game of the week, Bal versus Lincoln. So good luck to both of those programs. They get ready to face each other. And then I plan to be at this game. We wanted to do it live, but due to the reschedule, things happen. Mac is traveling down to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off a loss. I know they pissed off. And Mac is Mac. Like they're not running from no smoke. You hear me? So that's the other game of the week. We got Mac versus Pittsburgh. They'll be going at it on Friday at 7 p.m. So Antioch, Deer Valley, Balboa, Lincoln, Mac, and Pittsburgh. Those are the games of the week, and I will follow up with you guys on the results of those games next Sunday. So let's get into I'm gonna jump down. I had the chance to go down to San Jose State and watch their game. San Jose State brought out the black jersey with the black helmet with the San Jose on the front, and they was hard. I ain't even gonna lie, like that. I didn't know they had that in them. So shout out to San Jose State football program and their equipment staff for putting that together. They went all black, and it was packed in there. I was able to go with my son to the game. He had a late game. Shout out to Menlo Atherton Vikings. They pulled off a win versus Alameda Wolverines, and we shot to the game and met up with some players from Menlo. So there's a few players from Menlo that got invited from the game. Ralston, Avery, Willis Johnson, Bob Enright, Jake Bianchi, they were all in the house. So I met up with them, and then I got to meet up with my old squad and my boys. They like my nephews at this point. But they were all there. RL, Jerry, D3 was there, Isaiah was there, Ryder was there, man. So it was like a family affair, and I'm always happy seeing those kids as well. So San Jose State was packed. I think they had about 17,000 people in there. It was turned up. They had some high school bands playing at halftime. It was just a fun environment, and I really enjoyed that. So San Jose State handled business against Western Michigan. So shout out to San Jose State, and they are actively recruiting Bay Area prospects here. You know, they do dribble down into Los Angeles as well, but you know, they're recruiting in their backyard. So shout out to San Jose State, shout out to Coach Zoe and all the staff over there. So that was my first college game of the season. Every year I try to go to local college programs and watch a game. So I knocked San Jose State off the list. I may double back there because that's just fun football there. I want to get out to Cal. I will make it out to Cal. I'll make it out to Stanford. I will make it out to a little bit outside the Bay, but I'll make it out to UC Davis, Sac State, and also Cal Poly. So I'm trying to hit all the games in this region and just kind of get the atmosphere. So, you know, working in recruiting and people ask me for advice and what I think about this program and this, whatever. It's always good to see it live. And I can be able to share the experiences, you know, from my point of view, when I talk to parents and players, etc. So I'll be at a lot of games. So the next game that I may hit, I got to see if I can wiggle down there to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. Cal Poly's playing Sac State, and that's a good one. Now I know coaches from both of those staffs. I know Cal Poly, and I was able to get really close with some dudes from Sac State, and they just upset Colorado State. I called it. If you follow me on Twitter at Coach Mike Hill SF, I called it before the game started. I said Sac State will beat Colorado State. I saw Sac State in the summer and the spring. I saw their practices. They practice hard. They go with tempo. They discipline. And everybody's locked in. So I called that one. I'll continue to call games. I'll call it like I see it. There's a lot of FCS programs that will be able to upset some Division I programs. So shout out to Sac State, handling my business. So if I can get down there on October 1st, Cal Poly versus Sac State at Cal Poly, I'll make it down there. So that is that. And this is the question. You know, I always got a question of the week. My question of the week this week pertaining to food. So the question of the week was, when ordering Wingstop, what type of wings do you order? You going all flats, all drumsticks, or a mix of both? So as the voting poll closed, it looks like it was 52% of the people, half of the people, go for all flats. All flats are 52%. 22% said drumsticks, and then 99% said mix. So all flats is the popular opinion. And for me, I'm going with the mix. I like both, man. Like I like both. So I'm a mixed type of guy. So when I go to Wingstop, I'm a mixed type of guy. And I'm ordering lemon pepper. Lemon pepper. If I had to choose one, I'm going with the lemon pepper. So shout out to Wingstop. I'm gonna have to get in there this week and get some lemon pepper wings with the fries, so you can hold the celery, hold the carrots. I'm good. But I'll go with the wings and fries and make it work. So, let's double back real quick to the question of the week last week, and I'm so disappointed in you people. It was what weighs more, a pound of bricks or a pound of cotton? And somehow you adults chose a pound of cotton. Why? They both weigh the same. So shame on you. You're not smarter than the sixth grader. You're not smarter than me, because I picked. They weigh the same. You're not smarter than my kids from Menlo. That also said a third option coach added in there. So they weigh the same, man. So I always try to come up with questions of the week, kind of random. It'll be food, it'll be sports, it'll be anything. You know what I mean? Like whatever I can get, and I'll put the poll down. Hopefully I'll do it early in the week. We can continue to get more votes on that. So I'll do it a little bit early this week. I'll try to get it out by by Thursday, run it back again and let it flow all the way through Sunday. So I want to give a shout out to Dome Hats for supplying this hat for me, man. Low man win. Shout out to Coach Mack out in Florida and the Sunshine State. I appreciate y'all down over there. So once again, thank you for coming. I appreciate you are coming and listening. Let me rephrase that. Thank you for listening to the Mike Hill Podcast Show, man. This platform is great. I just get to get on here and talk about whatever the F I want to talk about, and that's pretty dope, man. So thanks for following. Keep sending me the text, keep sending me DM, keep tagging me in different highlights and stats or whatever. Like, let's just keep doing this. Let's just keep pushing these students, and let's continue to be great. So follow me on Twitter at Coach Mike Hill SF. And let's stay connected. God bless. Happy Sunday.